Good evening. My name is Toya Singh. We're going to walk you through our top story tonight. That's going to be our focus in tonight's debate. Months after the Enforcement Directorate team members were attacked in West Bengal's Sandesh Khali in January, this time NIA team was attacked in Bengal's Bhupatinagar. This is a National Investigative Agency team. This is on Saturday after they picked up two workers associated to the TMC. Now, why were they picked up? They were picked up in connection with an investigation that is actually a year and a half old, dating back to December 3rd, 2022. Now, we'll bring you the context of what happened, because as those NIA officials were on the ground, they say they were attacked. They received minor injuries after their vehicle was allegedly pelted with stones. Now, a war of words has erupted after that's taken place between the BJP and the TMC. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee hitting out at the BJP and saying that the National Investigative Agency and other central agencies are in cahoots with the centre. This is something, remember, that we've heard a number of other opposition party leaders say. Now, how is the BJP responding? Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing a rally in West Bengal, ripped into the TMC and accused the party of attacking central agencies in West Bengal. So you can see that back and forth taking place. Remember, West Bengal brings 42 seats to the table. It's the third largest state in terms of seats. That's why we're seeing it in such focus just a few days before these elections. And amid this blame game between the TMC and the BJP, the big question remains. The question is, where does the buck stop? And who's going to take responsibility for these attacks? This is the second in just a few months. Who is accountable to the people of West Bengal?
NIA আরেক দিকে CBI বিজেপির ভাই ভাই আরেক দিকে ইডি আরেক দিকে ইনকাম ট্যাক্স বিজেপির টাকা তোলার বক্স
टीएमसी चाहती है भ्रष्टाचारी नेताओं को आतंक का खुला लाइसेंस मिले, इसलिए जब केंद्र की जांच एजेंसियां आती है तो टीएमसी उन पर हमले करती है।
एक्चुअली क्या है ना कि स्टेट पुलिस ये सारे घटनाओं को अंजाम देती है। स्टेट पुलिस क्रिमिनल को ऑर्गेनाइज करती है, उनको सेफ पैसेज देती है।
दिस एंटायर एपिसोड इज कंस्ट्रक्टेड बाय NIA, both NIA and BJP.
Okay, let's introduce to you our guests for the day today. We have Dr. Shweta, she's a spokesperson for the Bengal BJP. Riju Datta joining us on the phone today, a spokesperson for the Trinamool Congress. And Vikram Singh, a former DGP. Sir, thank you for joining us. Ma'am, thank you for joining us this evening. All right, let's start our debate this evening. First, I'm going to go over to the former DGP, Vikram Singh. Sir, all that's gone on in West Bengal yesterday and the similarities that many are saying exist between what took place yesterday and the incident in January. Sir, how do you see this?
I see this as extremely unfortunate and a brazen non-cooperation with the investigation and the investigation teams. What happened in Sandesh Khali was repeated in East Midnapore, and there was issued notices which the accused refused to comply with. What option did the NIA have? And to say that they came at midnight, 4:30 a.m. is not midnight, sorry. And they did report to the local police also. And what more did you expect? All the protocols and instructions were complied with very faithfully, but there seems to be a pattern. Attack NIA, attack ED, attack CBI, and then submit them into terror. This is not going to work, and this is being done on court's orders. If you have any reservations, political rhetoric and wild allegations will not do any good to you. Please go to the court if you have any credible evidence, which you will refuse to go, and level allegations that are blatantly laughable and ridiculous. Therefore, this business of BJP and TMC will not work in sober investigation. Investigation is investigation and done on the basis of facts and evidence. If you find fault with the investigation and the notices, please go to court and seek relief. We salute our judiciary because they are impartial.
Okay. Sir, thank you for the concise response. Sir, I'm going to keep coming back to you through the debate. We'll keep going over to both of our political panelists. I'll keep coming back to you, looping back the point. Let's go over to Riju Datta from the Trinamool Congress. Mr. Datta, I want to start with bringing up for our audiences what it is that the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had to say. She said it was the NIA that attacked and not the women. At midnight, NIA officials are barging into the homes of people. Now, as Mr. Singh has just established for our audiences, and the point he's making is accurate. Our reporters are saying the same. The incident didn't take place at midnight. Not only that, it seems as if local police was asked. Why then, Mr. Datta, is the TMC claiming that proper law and order procedures were not followed yesterday?
Thank you. I have heard the respected ex-DGP.
Okay, we'll try to re-establish that connection with Riju Datta. We have been having some trouble establishing that connection over the last few minutes too. Mr. Datta, we'll have our team get in contact with you to establish a more stable, secure connection. Let's go over till then to Dr. Shatarupa. She's with us right now. Ma'am, until we're able to take questions to the TMC properly, I'm going to ask you some of the questions that we've seen the TMC direct over the last few hours. So these are just statements that the TMC has made over the last few hours, Mamata Banerjee has made over the last few hours. I'm going to come to you, ask you for your response until we can get the TMC with us also, so that this is a balanced discussion. So ma'am, one of the key arguments we're hearing the TMC make again and again is they're saying that this is a 1.5-year-old case. This incident dates back to December 3rd, 2022. If this wasn't election related, why couldn't this investigation have taken place in the weeks after? They allege that it's the BJP's attempt to show the people of West Bengal that they also have an eye on what's happening. That's why they're sending central agencies to the ground. Ma'am, how would the BJP respond to this?
Yeah, good evening to you, and especially the former DGP summed it up so beautifully. Vikramji, thank you so much for that. I was almost expecting when Riju had begun to respond, he would say that we have also managed the former DGP. They are constantly now saying, this is the new word that they're using, that we have managed the High Court, we have managed all the central agencies, we've kind of bought them. In fact, Riju Datta, in some channel, he was with me, or I think elsewhere, I don't remember. He said that BJP is playing IPL in election time, where the four major players are these four central agencies. I mean, this is the kind of bizarre level that these people get discussions into. So it's very difficult to even try to respond to this kind of ridiculous comments. All I can say is, yes, you have very correctly pointed out, NIA has been called up by the court after 1.5 years of a bomb blast in this particular place, Bhupatinagar, where this bomb blast was so large that their workers, I mean, Trinamool, I think a block president or some booth level president's house went up in flames. There's no sign of either this deceased body. The body is in shambles. I mean, you can't even see the body. It's in pieces. And the house is no longer there. But the likes of Riju and the comments from Trinamool is that, oh, it was just a firecracker. So now, if it was a firecracker or if it was a nuclear bomb, 1.5 years the state police should have gone and found out why their people have died in a bomb blast created by them. And what is more significant is that this particular bomb blast happened on a day and some 50 meters away from where their beloved General Secretary was attending a public meeting.
Okay.
Abhishek was there in the vicinity. So there, they should have been more concerned. Their state police should have swung into action, which they didn't. Now, court waited. Court was not satisfied with the way these things were going. So now court has sent NIA. Now, yes, of course, I mean, I'm sure Vikramji will agree with me. The NIA should have asked permission from whoever they were going to arrest that, hello, can we come and arrest you at 4 a.m. in the morning? Because 4 a.m. likes of Riju Datta and the spokespersons of Trinamool don't wake up.
Okay.
So in their bleary eye, they think it's midnight.
Dr. Shatarupa, just stay with me. Let me just tell our audiences there are actually two aspects to tonight's discussion. One is the incident that has just taken place on Saturday, and we'll discuss that in deep detail. The other aspect is what the opposition is saying, which is that central agencies are being misused by the BJP. We'll get to that, and I'm only prephasing that because I want to go over to Riju Datta and first discuss. Mr. Datta, I just want to first discuss with you what happened on Saturday. You were answering, we lost our connection with you.
Yeah.
Tell our audiences. sir. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be very brief and precise. We have nothing against central agencies investigating anything in Bengal. But what we are trying to say is, we have brought out a chronology. Gentleman is here. I hope I can answer this question. The NIA informed the local police that they will be conducting a raid at 6 a.m. They reached the spot at 4 a.m. in the morning and they barged into some house and there was a spontaneous reaction. Unfortunate but spontaneous reaction. But what we are actually saying is that after the court ordered the probe on 26th of March and the All India Trinamool Congress has showed all the proof that not by filing a deputation mail to the NIA or by going and meeting NIA officers in their office, BJP leader Jitendra Tiwari has met SP rank NIA officer Dhanram Singh at his personal residence, flat number J066 at 6:30 p.m. with a large white parcel. They had a meeting for 52 minutes and he left empty-handed. We presume it had huge amounts of cash. If BJP differs or NIA differs, we will release the CCTV footage. Secondly, about the court of law that Honorable DG, former DGP said, we are moving to Supreme Court regarding this. We have already filed a complaint with the Election Commission that then you can change our DGP twice in 24 hours, remove Dhanram Singh from Bengal immediately. Because we are categorically saying BJP is in nexus with this NIA officer, not all, is this particular NIA officer. And after the meeting on 26th March, NIA has issued fresh summons to exclusive TMC leaders, not only in this case, but all over West Bengal. That is what we are trying to say, that BJP is ashamed. They are so shameless. They are using central agencies as their own cadres and certain officers as their own cadres to get political dividends and target Trinamool leaders in West Bengal when MCC is already applicable. That is what we are saying. MCC, let me just finish. The NIA has already given a rebuttal. That is in public domain.
Right.
They have given point-by-point rebuttal that it was done technically and maintaining all the terms and conditions of law and order. Very well. We have no issues against that. Why have they not mentioned a single word against this grave allegation of corruption that we have raised against an SP rank officer of NIA? Okay. Why is there none on it?
Sir, let me just ask you a follow-up question, then we'll go to the BJP and to the DGP who's with us right now. Sir, there's a phrase called shifting the goalpost, right? We started our show by talking about the incident that happened on Saturday. The Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee, in the comments we're highlighting on the show, she had a problem with that too. That's number one. Number two, what has emerged in the last few hours is what you're talking about, which is the aspect where you're saying that a very, very senior officer in the NIA has taken, according to you, bribes, and you're saying CCTV visuals of that exists. That's the second aspect. Let's do aspect by aspect. So the first aspect here, where Mamata Banerjee earlier in the day today, yesterday also, said if the NIA, she's literally made a statement where she said it was the NIA that attacked and not the women at midnight. NIA officers are barging in. So those are just the wrong facts to be telling the public, aren't they?
No, one second.
Go ahead.
I am also categorically telling you on your show for your viewers that when the NIA has informed the local authorities that they will conduct a raid at 6 a.m. in the morning, all help was provided to them. Without anyone's notice, they barged in a distant village at 4 o'clock in the morning with 2 Scorpios and just grabbed 2 people from their homes. It was a spontaneous reaction of the villagers. The women and the children are sleeping in their home. They walked in, they broke the door, grabbed 2 people, got them in the car, and when the local police came to their aid, because there was stone pelting, they said, we have already arrested these 2 people.
Okay, Mr. Datta, I understood your point.
If you attack the measures, there will be
we understood your point.
One
second, sir. We understood your point. Let's go over right now to the former DGP. There's a reason we wanted to have law officials with us on the show today. Mr. Singh, I want to understand everything that we're hearing from Mr. Datta. I don't want to say this is the TMC. This is what the TMC is saying. Their version is that, look, it didn't happen at the time you promised. And as you saw, he said it's a distant village, middle of the night. These are all factors that lead up to an attack taking place. Mr. Singh, I want to ask you, this is obviously in no way the first time where a central agency has been sent to a distant village. I just want to ask you, what are the procedures that are already put in place for a situation like that? Is there a procedure to avoid an incident like this happening? How does the TMC answer stand in front of you?
Number one, this is happening at a repeated frequency, which was best avoided. Sandesh Khali to begin with, and then East Midnapore. The procedure and the SOP is that you inform the local police, which they did. The only debate now is whether it was midnight, whether it was 4:30 or 6 a.m. Now, the standard operating procedure is that the request is also jotted down and made a note of in the Thana General Diary, and therefore it is a matter of record that whether it was 6 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. is not a matter of conjecture. It is a matter that can always be examined. Mr. Riju Datta has raised very serious allegations, and let me tell you, officers who go to the CBI, ED and also the NIA are the best of the best. Mediocres have no place in these organizations. And I would rather not like to believe that any such officer with outstanding credentials would like to forsake his integrity, reputation and career. For what? For nothing. And therefore, if these allegations there, I can assure Mr. Datta that these allegations will be inquired on the topmost priority by the NIA top bosses, and the truth will come out in 24 hours and not 25 hours. Therefore, to say that the officer was compromised because he accepted bribes, please, my advice to Mr. Datta would be to send an application to the director and NIA, and if there is even an element of truth in that officer, his career is finished and his career is over. But going to the fact that the point of debate now is that they went at the rather early hours and before the time. There has to be an element of secrecy in any such operations. This is a sensitive operation. Nobody could disclose the exact time. The general time is given because it is like almost compromising the question paper of a sensitive examination by disclosing that I go at this point of time. Therefore, a general time is given, and then within that area, within that loop, the raiding party goes and gets those who are accused and those who are wanted by the law enforcement agencies. Because disclosing everything would mean that you compromise the operation and the culprits will never come in hand. This is the precaution that we've always taken.
Okay, Mr. Datta, I'll come back to you in a second. I'm sure you want to respond, but I do want to go over to the BJP spokesperson who's with us right now. Also, Dr. Shatarupa, I want to ask you the very serious allegation that Mr. Datta made. Let's talk about that now. So, the first aspect we've discussed, which is the big question of how the incident went down on Saturday. The other aspect, obviously, here is the continuing allegation the TMC is making again and again, and they've made this through the day today, that a senior BJP leader, Jitendra Tiwari, was involved in giving some kind of bribe. They're saying that a letter of some kind, an envelope of some kind was handed over to the NIA SP Dhanram Singh. They're also saying, and Mr. Datta, come in and correct me if I'm wrong here, but they're also saying they have CCTV visuals of this, which they will shortly release.
I will make a comment where Shatarupa ji can, explain and elaborate.
Go ahead.
So as we have issued picture of the visitor logbook and the leasehold where this sir is staying in Najarat. In his flat number J066 at 6:30 p.m. Jitendra Tiwari, who's a BJP leader, inside by finding the large parcel envelope, large white parcel. He had a meeting at the residence, not at the NIA office or anywhere, any place official, at the residence of this SP rank officer Dhanram Singh for 52 minutes. When he was leaving the apartment, he was empty-handed. We don't know what was inside the parcel. That is what we presume. We want an investigation.
And Mr. Datta, I'm not stopping you, sir. Your connection is very hard. So I do need to clarify what you're saying. That's it, sir. You're saying that there are CCTV visuals of this, but you haven't yet released those to the public. You're saying you will?
Yes. And in the meantime, what we have done, I will tell you that. In the meantime, we have already complained in writing to the Election Commission.
Okay.
We are moving Supreme Court. We have asked the West Bengal authorities to investigate this thoroughly. Now, what the DGP sir said and I completely agree with you that the NIA informed the local police there. It is on record, like former DGP said, that the time was 6 a.m. But instead, it is again on record, they raided at 4 a.m. And 6 a.m. when they were coming back, after they conducted the raid, they arrest the so-called accused or whatever, and they were coming back. When this attack or the stone pelting or whatever happened, they called the local police for help. The call for help was made at 5:45 a.m. and the local police reached the spot at 6 a.m. within 15 minutes. Okay. By that time, these two people were already in the car of the NIA officials. So they made a mistake, but that is, like you said, two aspects. One, they barged into the houses of these villagers.
Okay, Mr. Datta, I have other panelists. I do need to go to them right now. Shweta is with us. She's a spokesperson. Dr. Shweta, I just want to reintroduce to our audiences. You're a spokesperson of the BJP. You've been waiting very, very patiently over the last few minutes. Ma'am, I just want to take to you the same question I was asking you a few minutes before. The TMC claims that they have visual evidence of this taking place. Until we see that evidence, obviously we can't comment. But if we are to take what they say on face value, ma'am, we know that when the TMC says this, they are one among a number of opposition parties. If you just study who the ED has done probes against between 2014 and 2022, 95% of those are opposition leaders. Sometimes the BJP says, look at what the Congress did before. But the numbers have definitely increased. There's no doubt of that, ma'am. I do want to ask you, if we just look at this singular aspect, this allegation of corruption, first time we're hearing the TMC say that they actually have visuals of this. Ma'am, has the BJP done an investigation of any kind over the last few hours within their own state party unit after these allegations were made?
Well, before I respond to your question, please allow me, because it's been quite a long day for me, and I must thank Riju for providing this fantastic level of entertainment. I mean, he's been claiming that we are playing IPL with our four major players. He has now blown out of proportion an almost detective movie, which was really wonderful to at least listen in an audio, if not the visual part. I mean, I have watched in a previous channel the visual part, but it's extremely entertaining, Toya, because they've given into so much of detail, and I completely understand where the detail is coming from, because Jitendra Tiwari was part of their party. So, I mean, they're now going haywire with that. Let them please continue providing even more details. And they've already said that they're going to court and they've gone to ECI. So, really, we have nothing to say about this. Having said that, now, since there's one thing that he's keeping on mentioning, that the NIA was seeking help from the police. Now, please look at the visuals. Compare this with what happened in Sandesh Khali. There are women CRPF personnel. So NIA was fully aware of the pattern of attacks that these so-called sporadic, spontaneous attack that comes from Bengal public. This is so unfortunate. The same tendency of stone pelting and holding lathis, putting women in front, which is so humiliating for women and for Bengal. I mean, being a Bengali, I feel very bad that Bengal gets raised to national media level because of these ridiculous incidents. Okay, now coming to your question. No, I don't think we have felt it necessary to go and inquire about Jitendra Tiwari, but maybe somebody will talk to him, or maybe he has already spoken to Central. We don't feel it's very important. And as far as your last question, your primary question is concerned, that the central agencies go after the opposition people, well, you have to agree that there has to be some seriousness in this accusation, because you have a whole India alliance formed on the basis of why are the central agencies attacking them. So I'm sure BJP doesn't need to respond. India alliance have been formed on this whole ideology, if I may call it, that central agencies are after their blood and nobody else's.
Okay. So, Dr. Shweta, I'd also like to thank Riju Datta and Mr. Singh. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking out time tonight. All right, with that, we are drawing our show to a close. The second such incident to take place in West Bengal since January. Elections nearing. The state, remember we told you, the third most important in terms of seats it brings to the table. So you'll continue hearing about West Bengal over the next few days too. For now, though, thank you for joining us and have a good night.